not
They
bushes.
were not bushes. I didn't know that these things existed in this realm. It was insane. We're talking, somebody pulled over behind us because they saw us looking at stuff, but then they brought out a pamphlet and showed me the Star Wars creature with horns that's like, you know, a hybrid goat buffalo thing. And I'm like, what? Luke Skywalker rides on the back of that thing in The Empire Strikes Back. I was like, what? This thing is real? Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of No Tears Frontiers.
In this series, we travel all over the world on our KTM 1190 motorcycle. We have adventures through South America, Central America, Africa, and now we are currently on our way up to the very top of Alaska. And in this episode, this is the one where we are actually heading to the most northern point that you can go to in North America. And that is Prudhoe Bay in Alaska.
Dun, 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 dun.
So we started off in Wiseman, which is a town of 11 people.
This is true. But as we began to find out, people were popping up in droves to come see.
Thing.
You know, we pulled up, and it's a nice town, right? Like, well, it's a quaint town. It's cute. I don't know.
It has a few little log buildings. And
Yeah. It's somewhere stuck in time between a relic and, you know, a current display.
We had a nice little dinner of, you
Soup,
guessed
'cause
it,
it's always
cans of soup. Yep. Now, the only reason why we were there was because our friend Ashley from Ashley and Austin and Mako Venture, she had an uncle who had property there and
This is
said
true. Clutch.
that, yeah, and he said that we could camp there. So normally we probably would have found a campground on iOverlander or Wild Camp somewhere, but he said specifically, you know, you're more than welcome to camp in this place because you're a friend of a friend. Yeah, the weirdest thing started happening. We were just having our dinner and a bus load of tourists shows up and just starts walking around taking pictures.
Yeah.
So coastal female brown bears, especially on Kodiak Island, Southwest Alaska Peninsula, are 400 to 500 pounds, and males are between 800 to 1,200 pounds.
Thought it was, you know, kind of half abandoned town, but no.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing to have all of these people from all over. They fly in
Yeah.
and take the bus just to tour the little town.
But yeah, no, we had a lovely night. It drizzled a little bit, but we were safely under the canopy of our tent.
Good morning. Today is the day that hopefully we get to Prudhoe Bay, our ultimate destination at the very top of Alaska. Tim had a difficult night.
I had a cashew experience. There's no other that led to me projectile vomiting at midnight.
But you're feeling better now, right?
I am. I just need coffee and food. That's not cashews.
Yes, so we're about to go down to the river to make some coffee, and I'm hungry. There's not going to be any places to eat along the journey today, so we're just going to have food now. And guess what we're having? Soup, Southwest chicken, and Tim, New England clam chowder.
Yeah.
So the next morning, same thing. We were having breakfast. Ugh, it's so spicy. And then 2 or 3 vans full of people pulled up to take pictures. We were getting used to it at this point.
I think they were there to see us.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah. But it was, you know, odd, but yeah.
Look at that. Ah, It's a mosquito bite. So we packed up the motorcycle and headed on to the last and final leg before Prudhoe Bay. So this road is the Dalton Highway, and it has its difficulties in that most of it is not paved. It can become a rough road in the right weather circumstances or without enough maintenance. It can get lots of potholes, it can get all sorts of bumps and ridges.
Yeah.
But we were really, really fortunate with the day's weather.
The weather forecast did look like it may, turn sour on the way south, but that's the future. Who cares about the future? In the moment,
Right.
It was amazing. It was a nice dry road.
Yeah, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was really crazy.
So I knew that this road was going to go through something called the Brooks Range, and it's this really big mountain range that almost nobody gets to see. The only way you can get to see it by road is to take this one road, the Dalton Highway, up to Prudhoe Bay. And it's just this massive, gorgeous mountain range that kind of is the barrier between the more taiga landscapes with the trees.
I was going to say that, but then you said it, and that was my line. The taiga landscape?
I'm not sure if that's correct.
Taiga to tundra.
Exactly, yeah. The landscapes with all the trees, and the tundra landscape where the trees, it's just too far north and the trees can't survive there.
This little pass that we went through, we've been following this pipeline this whole time, which is just crazy. And then sometimes they'll just dive into the earth like a serpent, and it's like, where did it go? And why did they put it down there? Like, what secret laboratory is it in? And then it'll come back up. And then you go through this mountain range and you're like, how is it going to get through the mountain range?
Yeah.
Same way we do. And usually you follow a river because, nature's already carved out a nice little pathway for you.
There's these valleys in between the mountains, and the road just kind of weaves through the valleys.
Snow, not snow drifts, not like snow on the road, but patches of snow, which is equally exciting,
Yeah.
It was a trio of me, Marissa, and the motorcycle, along with the trio of the motorcycle, and the pipeline, and the river. We're just all headed as a team in the same direction to this little town called Deadhorse.
Beautiful. Prudhoe Bay is the geological area of the northern part of Alaska where it meets the Arctic Ocean, and then Deadhorse is the little town that has sprung up over there due to the oil industry.
Yeah.
Because it is the largest oil producing center in North America.
It is sad the horse couldn't make it 20 more miles.
It's very sad.
You know, it's
I don't like the name.
It's just like, this is where we live now. Why? The horse died. Okay, let's build a settlement.
Yep, and we'll name it after this horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
But
Well,
Marisa likes horses. So.
I do like horses, but I also don't blame the horse because after
Who blames the horse?
I mean, it's a rough environment.
It is.
out
And we
there.
were on a road, you know, back in the
Yeah.
day. The tundra is awful to even have any incorporation with. Or any, you know, incorporation, does that make sense? Anything to do with when not paved.
Yeah.
Because it's just this, it's like walking on a waterbed. It's, you know,
Yeah, absolutely. So after the mountains, the trees completely stopped. In fact, they kind of stopped midway through the mountains. And then it just flattens out and becomes tundra. And this was the real Arctic that I had been looking for. This was the experience that I wanted. Some people go
Yeah.
to Deadhorse to be like, the most northern point, and that's, you know, that's exciting and everything. But for me, it was to go into the Arctic and really experience that part of Alaska. It flattens out and becomes kind of like this bog marshland, but without all the animals. There just seems to be grass everywhere.
Yeah.
And there's very few creatures that can survive the difficult winters of that area.
including horses, apparently.
Including horses.
But as we're
yes.
riding along, you know, in the distance, we see, you know, like these little poppy seeds across the little hamburger bun of tundra. And
Yeah.
we, you know, we're like, those are a thing that, you know, Marissa's like, oh, look at the bushes, look like they're moving in a bit, you know, and I'm like, they're bushes. You know, there's been bushes for, you know, 300 miles. And then, you know, upon closer inspection, yeah, they were
not
They
bushes.
were not bushes.
That muskox out there is looking right at us.
I didn't know that these things existed in this realm. It was insane. We're talking, somebody pulled over behind us because they saw us looking at stuff. And they're like, those are muskox. And I was like, what are muskox? You know, like my brain went to like, I don't even know what my brain went to. But then they brought out a pamphlet and showed me the Star Wars creature with horns that's like, you know, a hybrid goat buffalo thing. And I'm like, what? Luke Skywalker rides on the back of that thing in The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
It was nuts. I was like, what? This thing is real?
Yeah, it's super hairy.
It's so
of
hairy.
course, because, you know, it lives up in the Arctic. Super big and super cool looking. It is my new favorite animal.
It was
Musk oxen.
my favorite thing I've ever seen that I didn't even know about it. And that's half of the, you know, point of adventuring it. But
Yeah.
this was, you know, two things I fell in love with at first sight was Marissa and this muskox. One was less hairy.
Yes.
But they were so far away I couldn't get like a super zoom. I don't have a super zoom, you know. So we appreciated them from a distance, and then we got back on the road, started heading a little further north. We saw like wild caribou running around.
Yeah, that was another thing that I really, really wanted to see and was hoping to see and keeping my fingers crossed. And we did.
Yeah.
There were some caribou by the road. These ones were either females or young males or caribou that did not have the antlers yet.
Yeah.
But, you know, you could still tell that they were caribou.
This is true. Just for the sake of the fact we're so far north, let's just call them reindeer.
So they're the same, right?
They are.
Caribou and reindeer are exactly the same, but they usually call them reindeer in Europe and then caribou over in the Americas.
Unless you're around Christmas time, then default
They gotta be
reindeer.
Yeah, it was really awesome to see the caribou. That is one happy little caribou. I was just getting so excited.
Yeah.
It was beautiful being in the tundra, in the Arctic, in a very surreal way. Normally, I wouldn't consider kind of like a flat landscape of nothing to be so stunning, but it felt very unique.
No, now there were mountains in the distance, and you can see snow.
Yeah.
And there's that wonderful pipeline that was we were walking hand in hand
pipeline,
with.
yes.
And then we see a lonely buffalo, or a lonely muskox. Just hanging out by his lonesome, which is beautifully ugly as ever. Yeah, pulled over and got some really good shots of that little dude.
Yeah.
Big dude.
I mean, that hair, it's almost like he's got this awesome dread haircut though, because they seem to all kind of stop towards the ground and like they're just all perfectly hanging over his body. It's really
Really cool creatures. We were definitely on a distant moon of some far off galaxy. It was really cool.
We are continuing north. The bike is about to run out of gas, but we know that we're not that far from our final destination, and that is the town of Deadhorse. And I'm just looking around Tim's helmet, trying to
My big old bobblehead.
see if I can see anything, any type of like human settlement, any type of something that's not just the flat tundra that's surrounding us. And finally, I see these strange looking kind of, they look like Lego piece buildings in the distance.
Well, it was like Gotham City we're pulling up on. There's a bunch of like weird
super
lights.
Industrial. And I got so excited. That will all be in the next episode. So thank you so much for watching this one, and I hope you enjoyed riding along with us on our adventures. And if you did, please give us a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below. Ding ding. And we'll be seeing you next time.
Peace, everybody.
Bye.
And thanks to all of our Patreon, supporters. Thanks to Temple of Moto. You can tell that we are in a motel room.
Yes, thank you, Temple of Moto.
And to everybody who's reached out to us, commented, liked. We're very thankful for all of the support. We love hearing from you down in the comments below.
Yes.
And so we'll see you next time, everybody.
Bye.
I'm making stuff up. Marissa will add a little banner that corrects me wrong.
No.
corrects me wrong. And she'll correct that statement as well. From here on out, it's just a bunch of asterisks, folks.
Correction.
Correction.